as we celebrate the feast of Our Lady of Fatima, my mind goes back 103 years to the very poor area of Fatima where the apparitions took place 103 years ago, and starting on the 13th of May 1917. And the background against which all that happened was, I suppose, a sad one. It was the middle of World War I, a war in which 57 million people died. It was also the time that Lenin and his cohorts in Moscow decided to found the Communist Party, which was going to wipe out all religion and was going to dominate the whole world. Our Lady appeared to 3 little shepherds, aged 7, 9 and 10 years of age, brother and sister Jacinta and Francisco and their cousin Lucia. She asked that they would come to this very same spot, the Cofeteria, on the 13th of each of the next 6 months. And she spoke to them and gave them different messages, some messages of hope against the background of what was happening in Europe at the time, and also warnings for the people of the world about the displeasure of God at the way the world was shaping. When at the center of the messages of Our Lady was the Rosary and the importance of praying that, and she asked that the 3 visionaries would pray that prayer every day. And she foretold that peace would come shortly and that soldiers would return to their homes. And she also told them, when they asked for a sign, that she would give them that sign at the last apparition on the 13th of October. And that exactly she did in a very dramatic way. 70,000 people assembled that day to witness what was known as the miracle of the sun, as the sun rolled like a ball of fire in the heavens, constantly for quite a while, so much so that many people thought that it was the end of the world and that everything was about to finish. The final Mass each year on the 13th of October is a very special one. It's the end of the 6 months of celebrations in Fatima on the 13th of each month from May to October. And that particular final Mass was my first experience of Fatima. And 2 things I remember especially about it. And one was the number of people who brought their own tents and vans and mattresses and parked out during the night so as to be part of the celebration. Many of them poor peasants from the countryside of Portugal. And the other thing I remember is that in preparation for the Mass in the Basilica, as they approached the piazza, they came on their knees for the last half mile, many hundreds of them, for the last half mile of that approach. And then at the end of the Mass, the celebration, when the statue of Our Lady was taken away, they sang a farewell hymn, and the thousands and thousands, nearly 500,000 people, waved their white handkerchiefs in farewell to Our Blessed Lady and thanking her for their presence, for her presence with them, and for making Fatima the centre of so much of Catholic life in the world. And I suppose as we look back on 1917, we remember that Our Lady started off in a very humble and small way with the little shepherds of Fatima, and that devotion now has spread with the feast of Our Lady of Fatima to the whole world. And Lenin and his henchmen in Moscow fell with the fall of the Berlin Wall in November 1989, and communism is no more. One important thing that happened in just 3 years ago, on the centenary of the apparitions, when the Holy Father came to Fatima and canonized Saints Jacinta and Francisco, and the 2 of the youngest ever saints in the history of the saints of the Church. Their cousin Lucia joined a convent, Carmelite convent in Portugal, and lived to be 97 years of age, having died in the year 2004. One little prayer we remember from the apparitions of Our Lady, the prayer that she taught herself and asked them to include in their rosary, which we include in ours. O Jesus, forgive us our sins, save us from the fires of hell, lead all souls to heaven, especially those who have most need of thy mercy.